What's going on, everyone? Got the Witcher 3 for you here today with the ray tracing update, and everything looks pretty good. We're at low settings, no upscaling. Got the 9070 XT paired with the 9700X. We're going to be checking it out at 4K today. And right here we're at 81 FPS, and our PCL is right at 70 milliseconds, so not ideal. The PCL is pretty high, so I'm going to go ahead and say that we're going to probably do some upscaling just to get that PCL back down to earth. On a controller, it's fine. Anything under 80 feels pretty good, but you know, it doesn't really feel that great on mouse and keyboard. So let's just jump into here and see what we can do as far as just going up on our settings. We'll go up to medium. I'm going to jump into here and make sure that nothing is getting crazy on me. So dynamic scaling, of course, keep that off. It wants to move stuff around. I'm just double checking to make sure everything looks good here before I go forward. Also for you to validate that I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing, we're going to check that out. All right, so everything looks good at the medium settings, and let's jump back into display to make sure nothing crazy happened over here. All right, yeah, everything looks good. All right, so let's jump into it. So this is medium. Again, no upscaling. Now our PCL is still about 73. 79, 82 FPS, so still, you know, a very, very playable experience. There's nothing wrong with this at all. PCL seems to be coming down though, so that's good. That tells me that maybe some things have started to kind of kick in. Anything in the 60s range is okay on a controller. This is typically a game that I would play on a controller, so to each their own, but yeah, if you want a lower PCL, you're gonna have to do some upscaling. But right here, FPS wise, we don't really do any kind of upscaling. I'm going to go over to this forest. It tends to take a little bit of a hit over here. So I just want to run over here and see what we can expect. So yeah, it drops down into the low 70s. So still looks really good. Very, very playable. All right, so let's jump over and check out some more settings here. So let's go into video and graphics, and let's come over to the high setting. I'm going to grab my mouse here so I don't, there we go. All right, so high enables you know, nothing crazy, so everything looks good here. I want to make sure that nothing changed. All right, so everything looks good. Motion blur, all this junk is off. Hairworks doesn't really make any difference. It's an NVIDIA thing anyway, so we probably won't even mess with that. So anti-aliasing, of course, is currently off right now, so we're getting a native experience at high. And let's jump into it. So that gives us 60s, you know, low 70s. So right here, we're at 80 milliseconds on our PCL, which is, that's pretty high. I mean, that's not something that I would ideally love to play. Much past 80 is, you can kind of start to even feel it in a controller. Again, this game isn't like a competitive title. It's not something that's super fast paced. So, you know, to each their own, but right now I would probably do an upscale just to get my PCL down, despite having a really, really high FPS. And of course, VRAM is well under control there. Everything looks good as far as resources goes. So let's jump over here, and if I can learn how to hit the right button, we'll be a lot faster. All right, so yeah, let's jump over to video. Let's go to display and double check all this. All right, everything looks good. I want to make sure that nothing's getting changed on me here. So, all right, so what we're going to do is leave it on high, and we're just going to come in here and turn on anti-aliasing, and we're going to be utilizing FSR, if it will let me do it. All right, yeah, so we're going to go FSR quality, and everything looks good as far as that goes. Nothing really changed here. I just want to double check and make sure it doesn't automatically do anything, because I hate when games do that. All right, so let's go back and try it out now. So with that slight adjustment with just FSR quality enabled, that dropped your PCL well down into the high 40s, low 50s, and gives you about 120 FPS. Now this is without ray tracing, so once we get to ray tracing, these numbers are definitely going to change quite a bit. But right here on high, you know, you're still getting well over 100 FPS experience with a nice PCL. So I'm going to run into the forest here just to make sure that we can validate some numbers in some harder to run areas. This forest tends to dip a little bit, not too bad though. This is a pretty strong card for non-ray tracing titles that are of this age. So I'm expecting it to run pretty well until we get to ray tracing. Then we'll probably have to do a little bit more upscaling, but let's just double check everything here. All right, so we kind of checked that out. So let's jump over and, you know, of course, go into our video options here, go into graphics. Now I'm going to kick on Ultra and double check that quality is still enabled. It says FSR 2, but again, I am overriding it with OptiScaler. It's very simple to do that. You just type in OptiScaler and you'll find plenty of tutorials how to do it. All right, so that will give you the ability to run the latest model of FSR, which is noticeably better looking. All right, so right here with quality FSR on Ultra, which is the old top tier setting before they updated it with ray tracing a few years ago. This is still giving you 110 FPS on 4K with 51 milliseconds. All right, so everything looks good. I mean, you're not going to really run into any sort of issues, outside of that PCL being kind of high without any upscaling. But with quality upscaling, I mean, that's kind of like my baseline. I'd pretty much upscale everything. It looks so good, it doesn't really matter to me. And it's well worth the slight trade-off, if there is any. So, yeah, we're just going to go over and check out a little bit more of these settings here and jump back into it. I've been doing tutorials, or not tutorials, I've been doing benchmarks all day. So I'm a little bit out of breath, but that's okay. All right, so yeah, we're going to kick on the ray tracing, and that's just performance global illumination. So nothing at all changed other than that. So everything down here, of course, stayed the same. And it just gives this Ultra Plus that just indicates that you're on the Ultra setting plus this ray tracing. All right, so let's jump into it. And this is the performance kind of low ray tracing setting. And as you can see, it really did tank our performance quite a bit. Our PCL is back up there around 79 milliseconds, 73 FPS though, still pretty good for quality. And this is a global illumination, so we're not having those beautiful reflections or anything like that. This is just kind of an atmospheric vibe it gives everything. Shadows are darker, lights are lighter, that kind of stuff. All right, so yeah, we're just going to run over here and just kind of keep whittling through these different settings and see what we can all expect. So I'm going to jump over and kick on the global illumination, but I'm going to leave everything else alone. I'm just going to kick it over to quality. So this would be global illumination quality. So a little bit harder to run. As you can see, it costs us a little bit of FPS, not too much at all though. Still very, very playable. But our PCL is still up there, still at 85 milliseconds. So right here, I would more than likely go ahead and kick on some upscaling, past quality. I would probably at least try to go to balanced, even though performance is probably where we're going to end up. Let's just double check it though. Go into video, come into here and get it going. All right, so let's go up to Ultra RT. So what that does is it leaves it on quality global illumination, but it enables reflections, shadows, and ambient occlusion. Again, everything is still on quality. So we're going to check it out, see how bad it is. It's probably not going to be the best. So we're just going to kind of scroll down here, make sure nothing changed on us. Everything looks nice and tidy. So let's just keep going. So going to the max ray tracing at 4K on quality FSR 4 gives you about 55 FPS. Now, right here, our PCL is over 100 milliseconds. That's too high. I mean, that's just too high to me. I wouldn't want to do any frame generation from something that was, over about 60 milliseconds, maybe 70. As far as the feel goes on a controller, it's not bad. I can kind of feel it. And I'm also looking at this number. So, maybe there's a little bias in there. You could kind of like tell for yourself once you play it. But yeah, I mean, around 60, it's over 50, which is not bad for a game like this. But, of course, I would want that PCL to be a lot better. So let's jump in here and do a little bit more upscaling to help our PCL out. All right, so let's go into the video here, graphics, and scroll all the way down here and jump it over to balanced. All right, so this is balanced FSR 4, and our PCL did go down, not as much as I would have liked it to, though. It's still at 95 milliseconds. And as you can see here, our FPS is still in the 50s. And that's just something that I have noticed with balanced, any sort of balanced upscale. It typically doesn't really move the needle too much, like going from native to quality. or even balanced to performance is a much bigger jump than quality to balanced. So you were still in the 40s here. So, you know, there's a lot of shadows in here. Maybe that's the reason, but our PCL is still well over 100 milliseconds. So I would probably just say we're going to have to go up to performance to hopefully get that PCL down and get our, get our overall performance above 60 most of the time. So this is performance FSR 4, and that gives us a PCL that's still quite high, but let's give it a minute. Sometimes it takes a second, but our FPS is over 60, so that's pretty good. 85 milliseconds is a little higher than what I would want to frame generate from. So, you know, we got to take that into consideration, but we are in the 70s here, and, you know, we're still looking like we're doing okay as far as, you know, everything else is concerned. So what I'm going to do now is go into the Adrenaline app and see if I can get this PCL down a little bit through some of the overrides in there. So I'm going to do that and I'll report back. All right, so here we are with the anti-lag turned on through the Adrenaline app, and we are about 65 milliseconds. So it does help to go ahead and enable that. It's still not quite as low as I would like it to be on mouse and keyboard, but on controller, this would probably be okay. I mean, we're still in the 50s in this forest, so maybe ray tracing is still just a little bit too much for, you know, 60 all of the time. However, I wouldn't really worry too much about it. I mean, this game, the speed of this game is not such that dipping under 60 here and there is like the end of the world. All right, so that is going to wrap it up. This game does not support any sort of frame generation on AMD hardware, and even using the Adrenaline app does not really do anything. So it's just too old of a version, I believe, for that part to work, but at least the OptiScaler is an option for a little bit better looking FSR. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate the support, and we'll see you in the very next video. Peace.